This feature that the car reads you back your text messages, like, I don't know how to defeat that shit. I mean, they got a little button on there, but I want that shit off all the time. It like every time I start my vehicle, the shit comes back on, and it's irritating as hell. Not to mention it'll blow your spot up. You know what I mean? Like, like it makes you have to answer questions that making you just look bad that you didn't intend to answer. You driving a female you just met in your car or whatever, and then you got another female friend that texts you, and then her whole name, the whole message comes across the screen. You know what I mean? It's like message it from Jessica, and it's like she's now all of a sudden, who's Jessica? Oh, it's just a friend. Oh, really? Why is she texting you this late? Da, 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 da. I'm like, oh my God, like I need to turn that shit the fuck off. God, like it just blows your spot up, and you ain't even, it's not even like you wifed up or booed up or anything else like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, so I had a white friend from high school contact me recently, and we got to shooting this shit, talking about old memories and everything else like that. And he asked me, there was, basically, there was a white guy that was in the group who, I was even a part of his wedding. And he asked me, do I talk to so and so, da 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 da, and I was like, nah, I haven't talked to him. And when we got to this one particular guy, white guy, I said, I don't really fuck with him no more. And he said, why? What happened? Like, what was the falling out? What was the shit? I was just like, I mean, aside from the fact that we just don't touch base, but I'm saying, a couple years back, him and I had an exchange, online or just on social media. And it didn't go over very well. Because, he was a real big Trump supporter. Trump, 2020, Trump. You know what I'm saying? And, it's like kind of like when your white friends got like these sort of racial bias tendencies. You started seeing that when Obama got elected. All the black people are lazy and breathing up all the white man's air, and all white people are hardworking and demonstrate personal responsibility, but all the black people are just a bunch of hoodlums in the ghetto who are just living off of welfare, right? You can never expose white people's fuckery, right? Again, black people, crack epidemic is because niggas is lazy. White people, opioid epidemic, it's because, addiction is a disease and we need understanding and compassion and treatment centers, that sort of fuckery, the classical, white privilege double standard, right? So, friggin', he asked me what we got into it about, and I told him, I said, because I already know his history. You know what I'm saying? So when you coming at me with some Trump 2020, all these black people are lazy type of shit, and I already know that you done fucked up in your life, okay, and you got pulled out of the fire, I'm like, see, I'm the wrong one to say some shit to. Because if it's, again, like, there's white people out here, they get away with all types of murder, when it comes to these sort of intellectually dishonest arguments and debates, because you don't know their history. You don't know how they got on. You don't know how they got established, right? So anyway, this white dude is, in other words, this white dude is no different than the niggas that he was talking about. He was no different than the black men that he wants to sit up in here and criticize. And I'm gonna tell you why. Reason number one, no goddamn discipline. Okay, so I was away at undergrad, came back, he had met a girl, she was actually older, she had a relatively decent job, and he was struggling. But, she was one of these manipulative white women, and she came in, and, I guess he was, because he's tall, you know what I'm saying, and she came in and, oh, I support you, I'm down for you, I'm sucking your dick while you got nothing and everything. And that's probably the best pussy he ever had, or the best chick he ever had. So anyway, long story short, he wifed it, they got married, linked up, all that other stuff, right? But he didn't have his shit together. So I don't know what her situation was, or I mean, obviously she must have not been on their feet or subscribed to the shit, or maybe thought she could save some money. But anyway, She ended up getting pregnant. They moved into their parents' basement, or his parents' basement. Okay? And me, I was like blown away because I knew he wasn't established. And that was like even before I came online and got into all this woke shit, like that was always my big thing. I was like, don't have your shit together, don't need to be having babies. Right? And so he went and got with this woman, married her, all that, and then they started having kids. And I'm like, yo, like you ain't got your shit together. And you living in your mom's basement. I'm like, God, that's just not even a good look. Right? But this is a white man with a white woman, so who am I to judge? Who am I to say some shit, right? So, whatever, no big deal. I'm not saying anything about it. No big deal. Where did the problem come in? The problem comes in when, he started getting on all this pro-Trump, freaking, it wasn't 2020. What year was that? What was it, 4 years ago? You know what I'm saying? So he's all up there screaming Trump, 2016 or whatever it was, right? I think it was 2016, right? So Trump and everything after Obama's done. And, I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, so like, why are you on some pro-Trump shit? Right? So then again, he comes in with all the lazy black people and breathing up all the white man's air, and we got to get all these bottom feeders, and how some way the welfare state that's going on in North Philly is somehow affecting his broke ass, right? But anyway, he eventually got on, right? And I mean modestly got on. Like, he's a working class white guy. Okay? Basically, once he got his wife pregnant, he moved into his parents' house, and then it was like, okay, we got to get you a real job. Like, we got to get you some, because he was one of these guys that, I don't know why he didn't go into sales, because he worked at Best Buy. And I mean, when I tell you this dude could sell ice to an Eskimo, he could sell ice to an Eskimo. He had the skills. He could have gone into anything that had to do with sales, and he would have killed it. He would have crushed it. Okay? But he was sticking with this, Circuit City, Best Buy type of shit, because he himself was always trying to get some discount electronics, which is cool. But it's like, when you got kids in the family now, it's like, okay, you got to get some real money. So what ended up happening is, his dad and whoever his dad was connected with, again, because white men got their networks, made a couple phone calls. I got a son. He has a new family, 1, 2, 3, bada bing, bada boom, right? And then, he goes out there and, they put him on in some sort of OSHA, like, hazardous painting chemical type of shit. But it was one of those gigs that came with like full medical and dental and all sorts of benefits and everything, all this sort of shit that a man that's supporting a family needs, right? And so he didn't get there underneath his own steam, his own resilience, his own resolve, his own personal convictions, his own spirituality, none of this shit. Somebody made a phone call and he got the hookup. Okay? But he did the whole shit backwards. Instead of having his shit together first, he went and started the family first and then got his shit together. And the only reason he got his shit together is because he had the right complexion for the connection. Okay? And I'm saying, I watched all of this shit go down. I watched it from start to finish. So I'm like, motherfucker, don't sit up in here and try to bullshit me about how, it's just a bunch of lazy niggas in the ghetto that they just don't want to work and whatnot. And I'm like, I know that you got the job and the career that you have because somebody made a phone call. Like, fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? So we went back and forth and I just went the fuck off on him. And then basically we stopped talking. But I mean, my man had no damn discipline. He did it the exact same way that a lot of black men, regrettably and unfortunately, make the same mistake of doing. Going out here, messing with some girl when they're young, getting her pregnant, and then trying to play catch up with life. Okay? You get your shit together first, then you start a family. Point blank, period. And again, Like, there's a lot of these white guys out here, man, they are just as reckless with their dicks as black men are. They are just as raggedy as a lot of black men are. The only difference is they're members of the dominant society. They got the right complexion for the connection. They got people who are already in the fields. You know, oh, my dad works for General Motors, or oh, my dad works for Johnson & Johnson, or he knows a friend, or he's got a golf buddy, or oh, they were a part of the Kappa Alpha fraternity, or some other fraternity or whatever. You know, if they Jewish, they are part of the Piker fraternity. You know what I mean? So they got a whole bunch of sort of connections that they can tap into to, hey, my son fucked up. You know, but he's got a family now. You know, I'm pretty sure you can help do me a favor and get him in the door. You know, quid pro quo. I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine, type of situation. And that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, you didn't get there off of the strength of your own steam. Like, cut the bullshit. You know, like the idea that a black man that's in the same situation as him, did the same shit, you know, only reason he's not working is because he's just lazy and doesn't want to work. Where with him, you know what I'm saying? Oh, it's because I'm this super hard worker and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, nigga, get the fuck out of my face with that bullshit, man. You are just as raggedy and dusty and undisciplined as these other black men that are out here. You didn't go to college. You didn't want to pursue that route. You said, no, I'm gonna stay at Best Buy. You met some chick. You fucked around, got the bitch pregnant, and then started playing catch up. Like, oh shit, I got a kid now. I gotta get a real job. And you had the avenues. Why am I talking like he's right in front of me? I'm saying he had the avenues to go out there and freaking get the jobs and the opportunities that allowed him to, you know, now what do you want to call it? That allow him to go out here and you know, do what he does. You know what I'm saying? And support his family. You know what I mean? But I mean the moral of the story is, you know what I mean? I'm like, dude, you ain't no better than any of these black people that you're now, you know, sitting here, you know, talking shit on. You're no better. You're no better at all. I literally sat here and watched the whole shit go down. Unlike these other white guys that I can get into arguments online and they can sit there and talk the shit that they can talk. But I'm saying I watched all the mistakes that you made. And I literally watched somebody pull you out of the fire and literally gift you a job, gift you a career. You know what I'm saying? I mean, literally a gift, a literal gift. Like, here, all you now it's hard work. All you got to do is just show up and grind and everything else. But, you know, it wasn't like they sat there and gave him a job and the job was hard work and he was working for peanuts. Like, no, they gave him a job and he was working for real money. You know, the type of money that is where somebody wouldn't be offended, you know, if they were offered that and they say, well, understand, you might have to work a couple holidays and this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying this was for him to start, which I think the job that he got was anywhere from $60,000 to $80,000. You know, plus like whatever variable overtime he had. But it was one of them solid ass unionized job gigs. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no bullshit. It wasn't working at Walmart. It wasn't working at McDonald's or Burger King. It wasn't working at the car wash. You know what I'm saying? This shit was, you know, you go in, you get your OSHA yellow hard hat. You know what I'm saying? You get your reflector jacket. You know what I'm saying? You do all that. And then bam, you know, you're a full-fledged man. You're a full-fledged adult. You can support a family. You can proudly stand there, you know, with your chest out, with your positive white male identity and say, you know, I am Papa Patriarch and I take care of my family. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm saying he got an opportunity and a hookup that's something that his wife didn't even get. You see what I'm saying? Like, his wife had it together more than he had it together. And then again, he got on and then blew past her. And now he's awesome and she needs to, you know, suck his dick and pay him homage, which she already was doing. But you get my point. I'm like, motherfucker, you didn't come in the room on some kick-ass shit. You got the right complexion for the connection, and you come from the dominant members of society. Shut the fuck up about how everybody else is lazy and whatnot, and everybody else can't, isn't out here doing what you're doing. Like, oh God. But anyway, long story short, that's why I stopped being friends with the dude, because of that shit. But anyway, that's all I gotta say. That's my video. SWP out.